The latest episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 6 was the perfect mix of chaos, drama, and over-the-top meltdowns that only these ladies can deliver. Episode 5, titled The Salt Lake City Soup Man, started off with the best intentions. A calm, classy wine tasting organized by Whitney Rose, but ended with shouting matches, psychic revelations, and one broken toy horse. Nothing went as planned, and by the end, it was hard to tell who was still friends with whom. The drama started before anyone even took a sip of wine. Last week, we saw Lisa Barlow and Bronwyn finally patch things up, which was a rare moment of peace. But Angie Katsanevas was not on the same page. After shading Lisa's son's hair care brand, she reignited their feud. Lisa retaliated by clearing her products from Angie's salon and throwing shade about its dusty state, even offering her cleaning crew to help out. In return, Angie stirred the pot by claiming that Lisa had once told her to dig up dirt on Meredith. Of course, Meredith wasn't buying it and made it clear she didn't trust Angie one bit. By the time Whitney gathered everyone for her wine tasting event, the tension was already bubbling. Her plan was simple: bring the women together to celebrate love, laughter, and wine. But with this group, that's like throwing a match into a barrel of gasoline. Mary Cosby wasted no time making everyone uncomfortable. The vineyard setting was beautiful. Sunny skies, blooming flowers, even ducks walking around, but Mary immediately declared it was cursed. She explained, completely straight-faced, that the former owner of the property had murdered his wife and himself on Christmas Day in front of their dog. According to Mary, the dog was never the same after that. It was such a bizarre comment that it instantly reminded everyone of Mary's strange car crash story from Season 2. Whitney, clearly trying to keep things light, ignored Mary's horror story and focused on hosting her event. Whitney had set up a gorgeous table, but Angie was already up to something. She hid a plastic box under the table, hinting at some dramatic reveal later. Meredith, meanwhile, wasn't there for fun. She made it clear that she wanted to confront Lisa about Angie's accusations and find out who was lying. She said, "If Lisa actually told Angie to dig up intel on me, that's a huge problem." The event kicked off with Whitney giving a toast about reconnecting with her old, wild self. The girl who used to swing on a stripper pole. She also brought in a psychic named Terrence, or as she called him, an intuitive consultant, to do readings for everyone. Mary, unimpressed, muttered, "Not today, Satan." Things started calmly enough until Angie casually mentioned that she was selling her home. That instantly set off Brittany, who felt snubbed that Angie didn't ask her to be her real estate agent. Angie tried to explain, but Brittany accused her of slashing her home price and making her look bad as a realtor. Before the fight could escalate further, Brittany's phone started blowing up. It was Jared, her on-again, off-again boyfriend, calling nonstop even though they were supposed to be on 30-day break. Turns out that break lasted all of 24 hours. The conversation shifted to Brittany's messy relationship. Whitney revealed that Jared thought Brittany was only with him for vacations, gifts, and the chicken salad from Lifetime Cafe. Just when Brittany was defending herself, a giant bouquet of flowers behind her toppled over. Then another one fell. Even nature seemed done with the drama. Whitney pulled Brittany aside to see Terrence, the psychic. He told her that she needed to open up more to her daughters. something Brittany swore he couldn't possibly know. Of course, the editors then showed a series of clips proving that Brittany had repeatedly admitted her distant relationship with her kids. While Brittany was getting her reading, Meredith finally confronted Lisa about Angie's claim. Lisa immediately denied everything and fired back that Angie was the one spreading lies. Angie stood her ground, saying she only ever told the truth. Lisa reminded everyone that Angie had insulted her son's business. Meredith tried to stop it by saying, "Not the kids, please. You're hurting other people, not each other." For a brief moment, it felt like she was the voice of reason, but that peace didn't last. Bronwyn then sat down with Terence, who told her that her late mother was her biggest supporter and warned that another surgery might be in her future. The message hit hard, and Bronwyn broke down in tears. But before the emotional moment could settle, Lisa and Angie were at it again. Angie pulled out receipts, literal text messages, showing Lisa accusing her of borrowing money to fund her vacations. In a dramatic move, Angie dumped her black Amex cards on the table and snapped, "See, I don't borrow money." Lisa rolled her eyes and asked if she was trying to flex. Angie clapped back, saying Lisa's facelift looked like she'd been in a wind tunnel. Their argument spiraled into pure pettiness. They even started arguing about who was taller. In her confessional, Whitney joked, "They both can't stop talking, and they both have to have the last word. It's never going to end." When Bronwyn tried to bring the group back to calm, reminding them not to go low, Lisa and Angie immediately started debating who was actually going lower. It was complete chaos. Angie finally dropped the C word, calling Lisa CNET, which made everyone gasp. She then shouted, "Pick up my black cards and go to Nordstrom." Lisa fired back, "Honey, I don't shop there, but you do." Whitney tried to physically restrain Angie as she yelled, "Your boyfriend does your shopping for you." That's when Lisa dropped the bomb that would echo through the rest of the episode. What about Soup Man? Peach. Up everyone froze. Lisa was referring to some mysterious Soup Man from Angie's past, and though no one knows the full story yet, it was clear this wasn't something Angie wanted on camera. Lisa then took a breather with Terence, who gave her a surprisingly insightful reading. He said that she and her husband were on different life paths and needed to reconnect before they drifted apart completely. Lisa didn't deny it. Back at the main table, Whitney and Heather begged Angie to stop digging into Lisa's past and let things go. Mary backed them up, saying Angie had no right to act innocent because she had once gone along with Lisa's shady behavior when they were friends. Angie denied it, but Mary bluntly told her, "You accepted it when you were her friend." Angie tried to move on by finally opening the plastic box she had hidden earlier. Inside were all the gifts Lisa had given her over the years. No dramatic scrolls this time, just friendship leftovers. Bronwyn was done and yelled, "Just apologize and seeking end it," but Lisa stormed out instead. Angie felt cornered, saying the other women wanted her to kiss the ring and bow down to Lisa. In a fit of frustration, she threw down a toy horse, one of the gifts, breaking its leg. Mary gasped, realizing the psychic's earlier prediction about an animal being injured had just come true. The whole scene was beyond messy. Angie screamed, "I don't even know anyone who sells soup," as she tried to defend herself. Mary rolled her eyes and told her to move on. But Angie wasn't done. She said she didn't want to be part of a shacked friendship like everyone else. That was the final straw for Mary, who stood up and said, "Done with you," before walking away. By the time the chaos finally calmed down, most of the group was emotionally exhausted. Whitney, ever the optimist, raised a glass with the few remaining women and tried to salvage what was left of her event. They toasted to each other, pretending for a moment that everything was fine, even though it was clear that nothing in this group would ever be the same again. Episode 5 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 6 perfectly captured why fans keep tuning in. It had everything: betrayal secrets, psychic predictions, and emotional outbursts, all wrapped up in one disastrous wine tasting. The mysterious Soup Man revelation is bound to blow up in future episodes, and with Lisa and Angie's feud reaching new levels, the drama in Salt Lake City is far from over.